because one of the things that we know is to have vibrant businesses in the state of Maine, regardless of what business it is you've got to have the communities around it to support the family, support the kids' quality of life. And I can tell you, everything that I've heard you say so far, whether it be summer or winter, I can apply this to, is that, you know, we've got, for those that want to downhill, you can downhill. For those that want to cross country, you can cross country. For the kids that want to be a little bit more crazy and flip around, we've got some extreme skiing. Yeah. But in the summertime, those same resorts now are hosting golf courses, restaurants, places to hike. So it really is something that these areas, and you touched on it with the trail maintenance, these are areas that become something that's useful and vibrant for Maine all year long, and it helps make our quality of life something special in the state of Maine.
Right. Lost Valley is probably a prime example of that. In fact, they're called Lost Valley Ski Area and Banquet Center because as soon as the snow melts in May, they have a beautiful big base lodge that is perfect for dinners and chamber meetings, and it's a great space, and they are probably as busy with events going on in the summertime every single week, right up until they open the lifts for skiing again. So they have a great core staff employed year-round that can count on that job 52 weeks a year. Yeah. Sugarloaf, Sunday River, Saddleback, they're expanding their lodging, they're expanding their summer activities, their year-round staffs are growing. Shawnee Peak, Mount Abram, again, they're reinvesting every single year, and they have a core of year-round employees. And we have a lot of seasonal employees, but a ton of our seasonal employees love the flexibility of being able to work in the winter, take a little break. Many of them, like in the Rangeley region, there's a tremendous amount of summer tourism opportunity. Right. So the community has a nice, stable core of employees that enjoy working in the winter at the ski area, working in the summer on the lakes. It's a great match.
You know, you do a great job in outreach for your industry, and one of the things that I've really been impressed by is as we have a focus on kids and keeping them busy in activity, the Winter Kids program. Can you go in that a little bit, Greg?
Yeah, the Winter Kids program, again, is one of several programs around the state really focused on getting kids outdoors in the winter. I mean, there's no secret that we need more kids outside, whether it's summer or winter. Even the Maine state parks are concerned about kids not getting out and enjoying the state parks. And winter, because of the snow and the cold, and it's darker at the afternoon, kids tend to stay inside. So the Winter Kids program has a passport which encourages kids to come out and visit the alpine ski areas, the downhill ski areas, and the cross-country centers, as well as we do programs within the schools where we're going into the schools, working with classes, getting them out on snowshoes. The Maine Winter Sports Center, they have a huge cross-country program around the state. Their Healthy Hometown program in southern Maine, the Maine Winter Sports Centers, which are located in Aroostook County. I mean, their mission is to reestablish skiing as a way of life. What could be music to my ears than to have another major organization in the state with their mission to reestablish skiing as a way of life. Wow. So we want to get kids out, whether it's snowshoeing, making snowmen, downhill skiing or cross-country skiing, because once you go outdoors and play in the snow, kids look at the snow and the cold as a great part of the environment to be in. Next is convincing their parents that it's just as much fun to get out in the cold. But these Wednesday snowstorms that we're having this winter and the number of school closings, kids are getting outside and playing in the snow. They really are rediscovering how fun tunneling in a snowbank really can be.
Well, Greg, it's great information on the industry, and I really appreciate you being here with us on Inside Maine Tourism to share the story with us. It's one that I think one of the things that I find most fascinating about your industry is that at all ages you can participate in it. At this point now, I'm not all that good at downhill skiing, probably never will be, but I enjoy my snowshoes, something you can take off and do out back. I think the point you make about supporting the areas where the skiing takes place is really important because, as Steve brought up earlier, it's really turned into a year-round industry for us. I know that you folks have done a huge reinvestment in lodging in the mountains and the things that go on, improvements in the lifts and trails, and it's a growing segment of our tourism industry in Maine, and continues to be that way.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been great to share with you this morning the information that we have on skiing in Maine with Greg Sweetser, the Executive Director of Ski Maine Association. Greg's a wealth of information. I think as he said it and summed it up best, get outdoors, enjoy the snow, enjoy the winter in Maine, and make it a great winter by doing just that.
First Park is Maine's premier business and technology center, located in Oakland, just north of the state capitol in Augusta. It is a designated Verizon Smart Park. Many companies have chosen Maine and First Park as a business location. A superior technology infrastructure, economic incentives, and an available world-class workforce are some of First Park's valuable assets. Go to firstpark.com to learn more about First Park. It's the successful address for business.
You've heard it all before. Come locate your business in our region. At Mid-Maine, we've got a different message. We say, come visit the Waterville region and let us show you a great place to live, work, and play. You'll find we offer a diversified economy, progressive business climate, and an outstanding lifestyle. But don't take our word for it. Let us show you what we offer. It's easy to arrange a visit. Just a quick stop at the Mid-Maine Chamber of Commerce website will get you started.
Vaughn, what an interesting interview with Greg. I mean, everybody knows that Maine has got an association with skiing, but to find out that, you know, it's from South Berwick to Kittery in so many different forms and fashions was really great to hear from me.
It really is. He's a fascinating individual. I've been very fortunate. I've skied with Greg, and he's a very, very patient person. He taught over years, taught me a few things, and helped me stand up a little bit more better and straighter and carve a few better turns. So very fascinating. And it's interesting. He talks about Jockey Cap. We have a state visitor center over in Freiburg, which is just down the road from Jockey Cap. And Steve, it looks like a big rock in the ground is all it looks like. I can't imagine anybody skiing there. But, you know, that's another fascinating segment of his industry as well. I think he said they opened that in 36, and in 37 and 38, no snow. I mean, you really have to be an entrepreneur in Maine. And in the tourism industry and the ski side of things, you better be a very good entrepreneur to make it work.
And you know, the entrepreneurship is growing, though, because it's going from a single season into 4 seasons. And we just see things and growing and becoming more incredible. And like Greg said, you know, we've got, you know, world class events that are happening right here in Maine. We need to be proud of that.
We really do. And, you know, he's right about that, because our annual meeting this year will take place at Sugarloaf. Great facilities, you know, great lodging. And I think, you know, as we learned, too, as well, that, you know, there's so many things to do when the skiing's not there as well. So they become 4-season resorts, which really helps all of the Maine economy all the way around.
Absolutely. You know, I don't have any carves or turns, but I got a decent backswing. And so, you know, I go up on those ski mountains and I'm playing golf. I'm enjoying being out in the outdoors, and largely I can do that because of what the winter economy does to help support the off-season, you know, summer and spring economy.
Great point, Steve.
It really comes together.
It does.
And Vaughn, you know, something tells me you're a talented individual. You know a lot about this tourism stuff.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't know. I'm still learning as I go along, but it's an exciting industry. There's so many things to see and do and be a part of, and, you know, Greg is just one segment of that industry that really makes it drive and go. So it's great to be around him and to be involved with that side of it, because it truly is an all-seasons destination in Maine. There's something year-round for you to do, day in and day out.
Yeah. Folks need to go out to the website and learn a little bit more about Ski Maine, because I bet you that they would be amazed to find out that there's an organization closer to them than they think.
Good point, Steve.
Anybody can do this type of stuff.
Steve, I think we'll wrap it for this show for today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us today and watching Inside Maine Tourism. We hope to see you again real soon.
Inside Maine Business with Kim Lindloff and Steve Wallace is Maine's only business show hosted by Maine business leaders. Lindloff and Wallace know firsthand what it takes to bring business to Maine and what goes on behind the headlines of Maine's biggest business stories. Inside Maine Business will bring you the movers and shakers of Maine's business world. From banking, investment, real estate development, and tourism to Maine's most successful companies, Inside Maine Business will bring you the answers you need about Maine business.
Ever wonder where real Maine spring water comes from? Well, at Summit Spring, it bubbles from the ground all on its own, just as it has for as long as anyone can remember. To this day, it's still collected in the original stone spring house, without the use of pumps or any artificial means. Visit summitspring.com to get free delivery to your home or office, or look for Summit Spring water wherever natural and organic products are sold. Summit Spring, you should know where your water comes from.
Welcome to Inside Maine Politics. Really glad that you're watching today. We have a very special guest from the AFL-CIO, and we're going to talk about labor and union issues, which aren't too controversial in the state of Maine, but we'll see if we can get a heated conversation going with my co-host, Charlie Crosby. But let's introduce first Sarah Bigney, or have you introduce yourself? Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
And tell us about yourself.
My name's Sarah Bigney. I live in Portland and from Bangor, and I work on staff at the Maine AFL-CIO as a mobilization coordinator.
What does that mean?
Well, that means that we reach out to our members all across the state who are members of labor unions, who are workers in various sectors all through our economy, to get them involved with the political situation, to weigh in with our senators or at the state legislature on issues that are important to them.
How many members do you have?
I believe it's somewhere around 23,000.
Wow. And does that include the teachers union as well?
They are not affiliates.
Okay. Okay.
But we do work, closely with them.
Great. And you grew up in Bangor?
I did.
So a Maine native. That's very important to me. I like to know that we're interviewing Maine natives.
Absolutely.
So that's terrific. And you went to UMaine?
Yes, attended the University of Maine.
Great.
Yeah.
Terrific. Charlie, do you want to start out with some questions or comments?
Well, one of the things that certainly has been top of mind in the past 3 or 4 weeks is the change from the Labor Committee. It used to be having its own committee, and now it's been merged with the Business Research and Economic Development Committee. And they just recently appointed the chairs, Senator Rector and also Representative Prescott. And are there any concerns that you have about the committee changing the room and what they might be doing now, and maybe some of the things that Labor will not be able to hear in the same committee anymore?
Well, it certainly was interesting the way the whole change has come about. From day one, before the legislature was even sworn in, we heard the rumor that the Labor Committee was on the chopping block, and that this was one of the first, the fact that this was one of the first initiatives by Senate leadership, the new Senate leadership, was very offensive to, I think, most Maine workers who, this is their spot in Augusta to have their issues heard in one place. And to have that be the first thing that has gone after sent a very terrible message to Maine workers that our voices don't have a place in the State House, a place for them to be heard. So we're certainly glad that the issues of jurisdiction that were under the Labor Committee are still going to be heard in one place under this new committee. It isn't an ideal situation. We wanted to keep one committee for the Labor Committee on its own to be heard there. There are so many issues that are important to Maine workers, workplace issues, from safety standards to, the unemployment benefits and a whole host of issues that the Labor Committee oversees, wage and hour issues that are very important to a lot of people, the 700,000 men and women who get up and go to work every morning. So the fact that we're no longer going to have just the standalone Labor Committee is a disappointment. However, given the circumstances, I think it worked out okay, given that those issues are going to stay heard in one place.
Very interesting. So do you plan to be at the State House a lot, or are you going to be out in the field?
Some of each. Yeah, it's more my job to get union members to the State House or to be meeting with their representatives than to be there myself. But yeah, we'll be there. We're not going away. We definitely showed that with the Labor Committee issue, we're there, and we'll continue to be there.
It's going to be a very interesting session, not only just for the newly created. Now, what's the long name? Labor, Business, Research?
Labor, Commerce, Research and Economic Development. Labor Cred.
Labor Cred.
Labor
Used to be bread, now it's Labor Cred.
Everybody pay attention to the Labor Cred committee. It's going to be an interesting show. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
honesty. Pass it on.